He's been in that driving seat for 18 months, and shall I say it's been a pretty exciting time for the Harbour Board and for Dover, I think. And Tim is going to tell us about some of the things that are going on, and he might well be challenging us in one or two ways. We'll wait and see. But Tim, you're very welcome. All yours.
I sort of like to wave my arms around quite a lot when I'm speaking, so forgive me if I sort of jump around a bit in front of you. When I was sort of growing up and learning to become an accountant, because that sort of came to me quite late in the career, because nobody ever sort of wakes up one morning, goes to school and starts playing in the playground at being an accountant. And Bishop Trevor gave you a few grimaces about accountancy in particular. But I feel a bit of a kindred spirit with the Bishop this evening, because we've known each other through various guises for probably about the 5 years that Bishop Trevor's been involved in Dover. Firstly, when I was a governor of Dover College, and secondly, through the auspices of the Port of Dover and Dover Harbour Board. But I didn't know until tonight that Bishop Trevor was the first person in his family to go to university, as was I. And really, when I'm speaking to people, I sort of say, when we're trying to create what we're doing at the Port of Dover these days, and where we're trying to get to, it's very much about hope, and it's very much about aspiration, and what you can create, and what people can buy into, and actually start to deliver something effectively together. Because I think a theme that Bishop Trevor was focusing on was how, as a group of people working together towards a common goal, actually starting something and doing something and making something happen is actually far better than simply talking about it. And the one thing I've learned, and I've been in Dover 7 years, the one thing I've learned about Dover is most people say nothing ever happens in Dover. So until we collectively share hope and share aspiration and start collectively to make something happen, then what we get is what we've got. So to get more, we need to actually get on and do something, which is what we're trying to do. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Dover Western Docks Revival, and in concert with that, actually tell you a few things outside of the Dover Western Docks Revival that we're actually doing. Revival, and first thing, revival, is an unashamed commercial. It's an unashamed commercial towards making something happen. Revival means all about restarting, beginning again, creating something from a period of vigour, recreating something with vigour from a period of acquiescence. So, what are the board's aims and drivers? A game-changing opportunity for the regeneration of Dover. I've been here, as I say, 7 years. Everybody's talked about it. Nothing's really happened. A few little bits here and there, a few little developments. But something that's really going to make a difference. Something that's part of a commitment to major inward investment into Dover. Something that's going to secure existing employment and create new jobs. Because, put quite simply, sustainable regeneration will only happen here in the community, and the community will only elevate itself and create opportunities for young people if it creates new jobs and new activities, and that there's wealth in the town to actually enable it to grow. And something from a port perspective, because our first, and some would say only job under our statute, is actually to protect port capacity. The statute that we have at Dover Harbour Board says that the ultimate stakeholder is the future generation, and that our job is to maintain, administer and improve the Port of Dover. But in doing that, we want to create more. So let's think about the regeneration of Dover. And this is an artist's impression, and it looks across from a potential creation of a new marina. That's looking from the Prince of Wales Pier, back across the fabulous seafront in Dover, a seafront that incidentally Dover Harbour Board maintains all of every year. So we're responsible for the maintenance and the upkeep of that particular area, enjoyed by so many in our community. And back towards what's one of English Heritage's 5 most visited tourist attractions in the whole of the UK. Dover Castle. So the best castle in looking over the best port in the world, with potentially the best regeneration example that we can think of. Something that actually unlocks opportunities. I think Bishop Trevor again, he spoke about Dover being a destination, Dover being somewhere that people actually want to spend some time rather than simply passing through. If I had £1 for everybody that I've met in Dover who says if only we could encourage just a few people who come through Dover to actually spend more time here, then I'd be a very wealthy man. But what's going to create Dover as a destination? I was in Warren Point for the British Ports Association's conference 2 weeks ago, Northern Ireland. Warren Point this summer had its first ever cruise vessel into Warren Point. It came here after it had been to Warren Point. But if I showed you the video of what everybody in Warren Point did in going out of their way to celebrate the arrival of that cruise vessel, to make people feel welcome, to put out bands, to come out and create a whole community day of events that actually happened linked to that cruise vessel, you wouldn't recognise it, because it doesn't happen here. Because people say, we wish those people would stay longer. We wish they'd stay in Dover and do more in Dover. The Dover greeters do a fabulous job in trying to make things happen and encourage people to stay in Dover. But there's not enough of it, because there's not enough that people want to see and stay for in Dover. So part of what we've been trying to do with the Port and Community Forum, and thanks here, and unashamedly thanks to the representation of Derek Leach as chairman of the Port and Community Forum, and members of the Dover Society, for joining in and trying to create a heritage trail here in Dover of the fabulous, iconic tourist attractions we have here, and trying to link them together, and trying to secure heritage lottery funding so we can create connectivity between them, so there's actually a trail here in Dover. And then lo and behold, if we create a trail and we join things up, then actually the people who run all the attractions might actually join their mindsets together and actually open them all on the same day that a cruise vessel arrives in Dover. Because it doesn't happen at the moment. So when we're starting to talk about hope, and we're starting to talk about aspiration, and about what we collectively can create, then that's when I try to challenge you. Because part of the gift is with you guys, it's with your families, it's with all other Dovorians. Because we can only make it happen by working together. So, Destination Dover, linked to real activity on the ground, not just around the port area, but in all the other areas that Dover District Council have got aspirations for, the removal of Burlington House under the CPO process, the St James's development. See? So you're all cynical. So you're all telling me nothing ever happens in Dover. So I'll sit down and we at the port won't do anything either, yeah? No, not at all. We want to create jobs. The Dover Cargo Terminal currently supports about 140 jobs in Dover through George Hammond plc and their associated workforce. If we cannot grow that business, which is currently landlocked within the Eastern Docks, it will close. Make no mistake. As supply chains improve, as people demand greater facilities, those 140 jobs will be lost if we do nothing. So we have a choice. Do nothing, stay as we are, or try and grow that particular niche sector, and try and grow it effectively, and create new jobs alongside it by focusing on some of the natural advantages here in Dover. Right, Dover on the shipping lanes, located closest to the second busiest shipping lane in the whole of the world, the English Channel. Only the Malacca Straits outside Singapore are busier. Huge business opportunity.